Welcome to the flower moon, aligning with the blooming May flowers. Every full moon, I have the privilege to sing the soul song of a truly exquisite human. Debra Silverman is a world-class astrologer and psychotherapist. I am so excited to share her wisdom with you through both sound and word. Say your Say your Tinida non meira weyo Te aloai Sira Sempre miro Say
Sun تيري الميل نشايري يلو يولميناي
crystallizes in the ocean, the unity of fire and water. Inviting you to take a gentle breath in through your nose, into your belly, beginning to wake your body back up to this present space and time. And just presencing for a moment to the magnificence of your being. Whenever you feel ready, take your time. You can open your eyes. You don't have to even take it all the time you need. Yeah, whatever feels good to come back in your body. You look like the cozy person there ever was. Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this with me. my spirit mother.
Libra rising Gemini, we're the same.
What was your experience like receiving?
It felt like I was in a dream, like I entered into a dream state and allowed myself to wander with you and your voice. I got carried away. I felt like maybe it was a Disney film or something. Like I was being taken off into another world and I was totally surrendered and I could feel my body's acceptance. Like, okay, we're going to let go. And the sound, when you really got to the louder sound, and when there was the chimes and the alteration of the shift of the different sounds and your voice modulating, yeah, I felt like you were kind of like me. Like you were tracking me, like you were in and I can't wait to hear it again.
Yeah.
To be reminded of that part of me.
Yeah, it was so special. And of course it was. We have so many aspects. So for people who don't know you, Debra Silverman is a psychotherapist, astrologer for 5 decades. 5 decades she has been doing this work, and you just pop everyone open to how their stars align. And I've had such a blessing of being able to connect with you in that way and also as a sister. And it's so funny that this synchronistically, like we could not have actually planned this. We didn't plan this on purpose, but this episode is releasing on the full moon.
On the day before my birthday.
The day before your birthday. And so, I would love, because I have you here and your wisdom is so deeply valuable for people to understand how they can connect with the energies that are happening. What is this particular full moon about?
Right. So every full moon is always when the sun and the moon are opposite. So there's a polarizing energy. That's the nature of a full moon. So the full moon gets really big energy because the Earth's waters all rise up to the moon and the emotional body increases and it makes voltage. That's every full moon, always ups the volume. So we howl around the fire and we dance and we sing. And this one is a particularly funny one because under the effect of Gemini, having a full moon in Sag, it's the part in all of us that's like, wake up. If we're not having fun, I'm going home. And turning up the volume and turning up the music and really being able to activate joy. So if joy is not, this full moon is inviting us to activate. And then the interesting thing about today is Jupiter and Venus are at 29 degrees Taurus, which is what you have. Jupiter, the biggest planet in the heavens, 100 times the size of Earth, it's giant, standing right next to Venus, which rhymes with penis, don't tell anyone, and which has to do with the yum-yum factor. So Jupiter next to Venus in Taurus, which is even more yummy.
That's my Venus.
And this is the moment in time when the fun factor is, yes, do the yum-yum factor. Take this full moon and ask yourself, what do I do in the names of smells? Like we can smell the smells here, the candles, the sound. How much do I allow my world to be yummy? Because if you're in a body and Jupiter and Venus are hanging out together in Taurus, they're saying, turn up Jupiter, the Venus yum-yum factor in the name of being in a body.
Wow.
So smells or incense or furs or massage or making love.
Yeah. And just part of what I love about this series is like beauty for me is actually
all over you.
It's just a value. Like it matters to me, like the time and attention to create something that's beautiful, that not only looks beautiful, but feels beautiful. So for you to, lay on here with your shawl and just be so comfortable and cozy, like that sensuality is really, really important to me. And so that's actually an aspect. So my Venus is in Taurus.
So it is today. So that mutual, echo of what is beauty and how does it feel in the body. Taurus is not enough just to have visual. That's certainly part of Taurus, but the best part is the chocolate and the yum-yum factor.
And how it smells. We just put Blue Lotus from Egypt and it's just like...
and we're still smelling it. So invitation to everyone in this full moon to say to yourself, am I embodied? Do I have the yum-yum factor? What would it take? Is it essential oils? Is it putting on warm, comfy clothes that make you go yum-yum? Is it being able to eat the food really slow, smelling the coffee or the wine, and really activating in this full moon celebration for the pleasure of being human and being in a body.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this feels so, it feels so perfect because I'm actually co-authoring a book about pleasure with a teacher of mine. And so I'm deep in this study of like pleasure actually as like this beacon of like, why does, my teacher says, why does consciousness evolve? Like, why does evolution happen? Because it feels good.
Totally.
Because if you actually distill down all the amazing things about being a human being, purpose, you know, things that are rewarding, being of service, like falling in love, having a baby, like all of these things feel good. And so I guess, you know, it feels like the perfect time to just really, you know, I'm just going to say the word. I was like about to not say the word, but like indulge in the pleasure.
That's the flavor of Jupiter.
Like really fully indulge in the pleasure. Like give yourself a beautiful space, buy yourself flowers, make yourself a charcuterie board that's beautiful. Like when somebody would come over and you know, would host guests, like do that for yourself.
Totally.
And treat yourself with that same kind of like sensual, like, wow, I get to taste like this chocolate with these nuts. And then it's so
and the big fat full moon echoes that because it's in Sag, and Sag is indulgence. Sag is like, go for more, have another, buy another, spend a little bit more, give away a gift, making sure you buy. So it's encouraging that Jupiterian same flavor. It's not a usual, I don't often encourage people to indulge, but this full moon with it in Sag and Jupiter and Venus at the very last degree of Taurus, indulge. Make this human experience just the secret sauce, I call it, like the yum yum factor. Like turn up the volume, and it may feel like, wow, it's not appropriate right now. Yes, it is. Make it appropriate. Just do the full moon activity, which is, I'm having dessert tonight.
Yeah, and just in it,
and it's my birthday.
Yeah, and it's your birthday. And also just the way that you the way that you presence to what it is that you're doing, because that's so much of it as well. It's like, how much pleasure do you derive by actually slowing down enough to presence to, wow, this grape that I'm about to eat, the soil had to be tilled and the you know, it needed to be planted, and then it grew with the sun and the earth and the rain and like all of these things that happened for you to be able to eat.
And the farmer came and picked it up and put it on a truck.
And then they made it. It's just like the amount of energy that it takes to eat a beautiful organic grape, right? And if you can just presence to, wow, and how, you know, things fruit with the cycles, like in spring, certain fruits are alive. And just, if you can actually just like slow down to presence to how miraculous life is. And when you presence to it in that way, you're developing a skill of experiencing pleasure. Because when you eat that grape is never going to be the same as any other grape you've ever had. If you just take a moment to just hold it and look at it.
It's like making love to life. Yeah. Like wearing your clothes and making love. This is what this whole full moon is asking us to do. And it's my birthday, which is so symbolic. Because on your birthday, the chart of the day sets up the solar return chart for the rest of that year. So on my birthday, Jupiter and Venus hanging out on a full moon, it's a very big activation for me that I did not, like I do these videos every day on Instagram. So I do them, don't tell anyone, months ahead. So when I got to my birthday and saw it was a full moon and it had this Jupiter conjunct Venus, I was like, what's this year got for me? And then I fell in love. Yeah. Welcome to this indulging the yum yum factors. What matters more in this whole lifetime than falling in love?
Oh, I love that reflection. Also because I think there's so many ways that life has demonized our desire to have pleasurable experiences. You know, it's almost, even the word pleasure feels indulgent. You know, like the charge around it feels almost like it's an indulgent thing, when actually it's the whole purpose of like why we're here is to enjoy it, to derive pleasure from all the experiences that we possibly can. And I it's so absolutely perfect that alignment is on your birthday and when this is coming out.
On the back of my business card for 25 years, and no one ever noticed because I'm an astrologer and a psychotherapist, it said the pleasure of being in a body. And I always wonder why no one ever asked, but that's my function this life, to give people back to the yum yum factor. Like, what's your rhythm? What's your style? What is indulgence for you? Some people don't like indulging. Some people can't stop indulging. Curious to see on the spectrum of the pleasure factor, is it a bad word? It's my favorite word. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not rubbing against some cotton or some cashmere or somebody going, why else are we doing this body thing if not to do the yum yum factor?
Totally.
I don't get it.
Totally.
So, happy full moon, everybody watching this, and turn up the volume. And this is part of what you just did for me, was really activating energetically through the sound. The absence of my mind. This is another full moon conversation. Gemini gets stuck in their head. They have a tendency to think all the time and talk all the time.
Yeah, we're both Geminis, if we haven't already mentioned that.
And we're both Libra rising, which adds more air to our story. But the opposite, Sag, is like, stop talking and just do it. Jump into the cold water, jump off the cliff, get on the bike, put the wind in your hair, put down the windows, turn up the music. Sagittarius says, stop thinking and do it. Isn't that delicious? So this full moon is really an activation of abandonment from the mind to the activity in the name of the yum yum factor.
And it feels like abandonment of the mind and just getting so much more into the body and your five senses of like, how can I experience something beautiful and sensuous through my body? Not because I have to think about it, but because I want to create from this beautiful place.
Creativity is definitely in it, but mostly it's action. So it's taking the action and being courageous enough to say yes to, because most of us have a problem with indulgence. The word pleasure and indulgence, as you said. But the opposite of that is knowing that's the human right. That's the inheritance of being human. It's why people want to, there's 8 billion here, everybody's rushing down to come down here. You're like, let me have a body, let me have a body. Think about that. Why is everybody wanting to be here right now? And there's lines waiting. Babies coming in, and they're all with the same agreement. I want to know what it's like to have a body. So during this full moon, this is the remembrance. Oh, that's right. This is why I came down here, was to have a glass of wine and drink it slowly and see how it affects my body. To be able to eat chocolate and let it melt in your mouth. To rub your feet on the carpet and feel the softness between your toes. We forget.
Totally.
I don't forget.
And even, you know, this last year, in 2023, I took Mama Gina's pleasure coaching certification. And one of the practices that we did was actually, you know, this very embodied sensual practice, but part of it was to literally take yourself on a date in the way that you treat other people. Like I mentioned earlier, it's like, I make my house so beautiful. I chop all the pillows, you know, all the ducks are in order. Like everything is perfect when I have guests over, because I love for people to walk into my home and feel like, wow, it feels really good to be here. You know, the way that it smells, the way that there's, you know, paintings like this all over the place. I love for there to be beauty, but how many times do I treat myself like that?
Right.
Right? I mean, maybe like a bath. Baths are really nice, and I love baths.
One of my codes is pound spa life. That's like, I'm not kidding. I spend hashtag, thank you. I'm showing my age again. But what it is because every single day I'm either in a steam or before it was popular, in a steam, in a sauna, in the cold dive. This is my commitment to my body to be alive, to give it full vitality. So this has been going on for years, which is why, even though I'm 95 years old, you can't tell by looking.
It is so,
well, not 95, but I'm getting up there.
You look absolutely stunning.
And it's because I'm in love with this body.
You're in love with life.
I am. And kissing and the yum yum factor just gotten even better when you fell in love.
And it feels like the full moon, you know, even if people don't have a partner or, you know, something like that, it's like fall back in love with yourself.
And have the faith to know that love, because I am 67, in case anyone's wondering, on May 24th, that the falling in love factor happened so late for me. So anyone who's single, who's hopeful, this is Sagittarius moon. Anything's possible, says Moon and Sag. Don't ever give up hope. Always know love is looking for you. It's just timing. Write that down.
So I would love, because I have you, and I know I took your astrology course, and the breadth and depth is maximum it's literally like a science of just studying.
Yes.
But I would love, you know, while I have you here, for all the people who are listening, like, what about astrology, just right now, intuitively in this moment, would you love to share as a means of it being helpful to, you know, guide people back, like you said, to the yum yum?
The pleasure of being in a body. I would say that everyone has internal dialogue that's mean. and everyone understates their value or their self-confidence or their feeling of being lovable. All that stuff is so ridiculous. It's a bad operating system. It's a new book that I just wrote about. It's a bad operating system. But we get to choose consciously to say, hold on a minute, where's my observer? I need to wake up inside the dream and give myself back to the free will button, which is I can choose, no matter how old I am or how many heartbreaks I've had or how much my body, to pleasure. It can be a simple choice. So there is a real invitation in this conversation to activate the part of you may have left it behind, that does have faith and love, that does love the pleasure in the body, that does love the smells, and slow it down. To your point, smell them. Give yourself back to permission to reconvince, like to reinvite, to almost reconsider. It's almost like a opportunity, every full moon is this, to take the theme and then recommit. I'm choosing the yum yum factor and make it a practice.
Yeah, and that's also helpful just for, in your opinion, there's lots of websites and writings about like, what do you do on the full moon, and what kinds of rituals do you do on the new moon, and there's varied opinions, but you as the queen mothership of the stars, I would love for you in your practice, or like, what do you suggest for how people, I know we're talking specifically about how to work with the full moon, but maybe just speaking a little bit to the energy of the full moon and sort of what's alive as this happens every month.
I would say the high road of using the full moon is turning up the volume, getting outside, socializing, giving yourself permission to reach out. Use the example of the olden days. We had no electricity. The full moon was out, and so were we. Everybody was outside hiking, hiking and gathering around the fire. The new moon was completely dark, and that's when you go in. And it requires an internal prayer or a request. Plant the seeds, ask for what you want, and then in the full moon you celebrate. Celebrate the goods and the bads. You just make a reason to celebrate. That's what we do with celebration. Oh, I know, let's have another one. So excuse during the full moon to up the voltage, to do that energetic that keeps you in the flow, and in the new moon to go in and I literally don't go out during the new moon. I go in, I get quiet, and I take it as an advantage of like, it's dark out. You couldn't walk around in the dark. It's only 10 minutes ago we got electricity. It's been 150 years. The whole of our history on this planet was following those moon cycles. So do it. Pay attention. Just because the lights are on doesn't mean you don't remember where the moon is, and that's why you're watching this.
Totally. I love that. Do you feel like, because some things that I've read is, it's the best time for manifestation during a full moon, and for or clearing or letting go during the full moon.
It's an energetic time where I've had experiences in life where I've said the wrong thing. Like, you're releasing, you're explosive, you're emotionally charged, you're feeling more angry.
And it's like emotional, as you were saying, because the water.
Yes, exactly. The water's up, the pressure's up. Think about the full moon gathering they can watch the tides by the moon.
We saw it when we were in Turkey. The full moon rose and the entire shore changed like so quickly,
because it's a magnetic force field.
Yeah, exactly. It was rising. It was the craziest thing. And we have what we're like 70% water in our body.
And the earth is blue. It shouldn't be called earth. It should be called water. So pay attention to the water. And the missing part on our planet right now is we don't know how to do emotions. We're like, I hate to say this, it's politically incorrect, but we're an emotionally retarded species. We don't know how to handle our emotions. We're like totally kid-like in our inability to deal with. So during a full moon, make a mistake. Turn up the volume. Yes, manifest. Take a risk. Throw it out. And during the new moon, you go back in and reflect. Like, whoops, I just want to give myself quiet. So that full moon is permission to because it happens a lot that we do things where we're like, whoa, I was unsupervised.
My energy is like, where did that reactivity just come from? There's like so much happening and
we feel it. The women particularly feel it, but it is definitely in the zeitgeist, and permission to follow the rhythm. What if we did go back to following the rhythm of the cosmos? So every day, I have a video every day on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, and they tell you where the moon is, and they give you the clue of how to follow that rhythm. So this full moon, on my birthday, we're having cake. Maybe pie too.
Let's go full out.
Yes.
I love that. So since I have you here, I would really love to hear your perspective around this recent solar eclipse that we had. that we were actually in full totality here in Austin, Texas.
Oh, you could see it.
And actually, my guidance was to stay inside, and was in a really beautiful ritual that was really profound. But just would love your perspective. I think for a lot of people, and there's been some time now, but there's been a lot of energy that's been happening, and just kind of clarifying from your perspective around your. Yeah.
So that full moon and that new moon, the two eclipses were Aries and Libra. And the whole conversation was relationship and individuality. And how do I hold my own while I'm with my partner? And how do I give my partner space to go do whatever they want while me also getting space, but then not wanting to go too far because then you want them to come back and you want them to call you. That Libra-Aries ping pong match. That was the flavor of those two eclipses. The invitation for all of us, and it was during a Mercury retrograde, was to review. What do you say about relationship? What's your dialogue? How do you deal with the conversation? Because so many people who are single wish they were in one, and the ones that are in one wish that they were out of one. I mean, it's like a ping pong game. It's the most bizarre thing. The human nature component with relationship is one of the most dynamic. And that eclipse was a chance for us to update. That's what every eclipse is. Review the theme of what because it's always the same. It's an echo, two of them. And then ask yourself, in this part of my life, is there something I need to put a stake in the ground for? So for me, it was a decision to be in relationship. Like I'll remember the eclipse of 2024, I made a commitment because part of me is a little Gemini flying off. And I had to call myself out under that eclipse and say, this is the value of an eclipse. Find out the theme, study it, apply it to yourself. Yes, you could look at your chart, but simply, what's the flavor? And how am I doing with that flavor? It's just an ancient old system. Eclipses are markers that give you an invitation to do inventory. And then I always think it's like a flag, like this eclipse, because I can remember eclipses where I made a decision, for example, during a Cancer one, to stay in my body. Like we're landing and unpacking our bags. We're not thinking about going home anymore. I had to and then I suddenly came into my incarnation. I want to be here, I said. This one was, I want to be in a relationship and I'm committing to it. So there goes my little flag, and then I'll remember it. And that's what an eclipse is. You make a decision, stick it down, write it down. I just think it's so simple, but we get so complicated. There's so much in social media, and everyone's staring up at the eclipse. And like, what does it mean? No one really knows unless they ask the astrologer. That's where I come in.
That's where you came in. I needed you.
So you ask yourself about relationship. Yeah. And you've been, and everyone dances with that push-pull dance.
Yeah.
And it is a real interest. Like, how do I get into myself? How do I ask myself these questions? Go see an astrologer.
Yeah, that feels super resonant. And just personally having gone on a really long path prior to the eclipse, that on the eclipse, everything felt really just so solid and really, really, just in harmony. Like in right relation is like probably the best word that I would say. It was like there was so many, from September to December was like months of preparation, and then landing into this new place in our relationship. And then on the eclipse, having a very expansive, beautiful experience together.
Yay. See, and you'll remember it. And that's the point of an eclipse, is a marker in time that gets remembered.
So for people who are super new to astrology, if you could pick, because there's so many dimensions of it, and it's such a deep, probably lifelong study. If somebody were new to it, and where would you direct them to sort of look at in their chart as like the thing? If there's only one thing, what would that one thing
That's
be?
hard. It would be the rising sign, because you're rising into an ascendant. You want to pay attention. We both are Libra rising. Relationship and beauty. It's so funny. I'm like looking at myself. And then the other part is Saturn, which we both have the same.
We have the same Saturn.
So Saturn is Sagittarius. So look at the year you were born and ask, what was I supposed to be learning? You come down to this planet, it's kind of a mean game. They don't give you, it's like amnesia. They don't give you the fine print.
Like a blueprint.
You have to figure the whole thing out by getting it wrong.
Yeah.
We learn here by mistakes. Can't they send you an email? Like, here's the description. H-mail, I call it, from heaven. Just tell me what you wanted me to do. I would do it if you just told me, but no. School of hard knocks, get it wrong and then get it right. So that would be Saturn. Saturn tells you what. So for us, it's about being blunt and honest and disruptive and pushing ourselves. And we don't want to do that because we're Libra and we're trying everybody to like us. And then blah, out comes the blah. And then we're like, did I hurt you? Well, I was just telling the truth. So that's our life lesson. But you have to find out, just simple, where is your Saturn? What sign is it in? what element is it in? This is such beginner astrology, but it's so potent to your point. It's a deep dive because that teaches you what you agreed to do before you got here. We have amnesia.
Yeah, just it feels
Waking
like
up.
I after going through your level 1 of just understanding so much more of myself, like, wow. You know, and I always take everything very lightly, and when things feel really true to me viscerally in my body, then it feels true to me. And it was such a helpful map. And also, you know, how my personal astrology is impacted by what's happening astrologically on a
Yes.
daily basis, and
Yes.
the cycles and all of the things. It
Yes.
feels like it actually feels in a big way like sort of re-engaging with the wisdom of ancient cultures where
Totally.
everything revolved around
It's
astrology.
the oldest science on earth. It's passed the test of time because it works. So the answer is the school starts twice a year, in September and in January. So there's a school opening in September. Otherwise, there's lots of classes, but the real promise is you have the interest and you get an astrology reading. And you know, I have certified astrologers that have been rigorously
amazing.
trained. They're
Yeah,
so good.
they're so amazing.
And they'll give you the answer to what are you doing here? If everyone's not curious, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Mhm.
What are you doing on this planet?
I mean, and even just being able to look at my chart in, you know, even this last year, all of these different movements that have happened in my life. My husband and I went through a really difficult period in our relationship that was aligned with something that was, you know, impacting my own personal
Yes.
stars. And just kind of watching how, wow, it feels so much more like we have free will, and there's also this feeling like it feels so much more like mathematical, and like there's so many keys and clues to be discovered if you actually just look for it. I was really, really blown away by how many things you know, it was almost like talking to a psychic. She was like, well, this is here, you know, this is here, this is here, did you feel this? And you're, you know, you're recreating, you know, wounding from when you're a child, and just like all these, and I'm like, yes.
So that's what happens in the school, is in that small group. The person that's teaching you has studied your chart, and then you go through, each person in the room gets a chance to see the timing and the patterns and the lessons. And it's really, you would imagine how much fun it is for me.
I bet.
When people finish the school and tell me
Yeah.
that they woke up, or they remembered to fall in love with themselves, or they figured out that they weren't so bad after all, or no wonder they're so quirky. Raise your hand if you're quirky. Everybody, you have to be quirky. Yeah, that's just how it goes down here. Quirk. So astrology is the medicine with the language that gives you back to you, that says, okay, so we're Gemini Libra. So the beauty of everything and the indecisiveness. I was just talking this in the podcast with Aubrey, how we both would change our minds when we get these brilliant ideas. I got an idea. We're going to make a sound. We're going to do an interview. Like, you made the whole thing up. And now look at us.
Now here we are.
Live time. Brought to you
Time.
by a Gemini Libra who said, I'm going to make my dream come true because you have such a strong Saturn, as I do, that follow through and the completion. So all that is to say, you can learn about your chart.
Thank you so much. And I felt like that was a perfect segue into what, you know, this whole series is about. It's the I Am Unique Sound series. And so this transmission was completely specific and unique to you. And I would love if you could encompass this experience in an I am statement. What would that I am be?
And the answer, after the sound, that's such a great question. I am so happy to be me. I changed it. That's what astrology is. So I'm giving that. I am so happy to be me. I feel so much the chart and the tone. I was like, if that's how I sound, that was really impressive. I want to hear it again. I said that to you. I liked it so much.
Yeah.
I am so happy to be me. I wish everyone could say that. I'm so happy to be me.
That is really, really, really special. You could be, I am dancing queen of the star. You could have so many I ams, but I am so happy to be me. That's a revolutionary thing.
That's the essence of astrology.
Totally. Thank you so much. This is so beautiful. I love you. Thank you, everyone.
What a gift.
Yay.
Yay.
We did it. Thank you.